Hi, my name's Anton and this is my dog Moose. We live in Cornwall, which is in the south of England. Grab your knitting, grab a cup of tea, however you like to watch your vlogs, and let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the cottage. It's been a minute since I uploaded my last videos and the response has been fantastic. So I firstly wanted to say thank you for all the people that subscribed and commented. It's been really encouraging. I was a bit nervous about doing these YouTubes, and after putting my first 2 episodes on, the feedback's been great. So thank you so much for that. I have a lot of things to show you. It's been, as I say, a minute since I've uploaded those videos, and so I've got lots of things either finished or progressed with. I was struggling to get a jumper done for ages, ended up knitting the sleeves 4 times, but after that finished, everything just suddenly got finished at once, and it's been quite rewarding. So it feels good when you finish a project, but it doesn't stop me wanting to cast on the next ones. So what's been happening? Lots has been happening. We've got test knits going on at the moment. I have just come back from Unravel, which is a yarn festival up in Farnham, and got to see lots of lovely yarn vendors and a lot of you as well. It was amazing how people were coming up to me and be like, "I've seen your YouTube," and it was really rewarding, and it really felt warmed my heart to meet you all and see you. I also got to see Martyn, who is an amazing YouTuber, and he brought me a shawl which he had made from my advent box, from the Raw Wool advent box over Christmas, and he had made a Stephen West shawl. I'll try and find some footage to put here, but it's just utterly beautiful. The natural colours in the shawl with the brioche especially just looks absolutely fantastic, and I was really pleased that he came and showed me that. I also had a lot of customers bringing me their knits that they had done, either my patterns or other people's patterns, using the raw wool, and that was so lovely as well. And it's just, when people walk in the room, I go, "Is that my wool?" And then they come over and I recognise their face from shows previous, and they show me, and it's just so lovely to see the wool that I work so hard on actually out in the wild. And I will go back and tell the sheep that I've seen them all knitted up, and yeah, it looks really good, and I'm very pleased by it. So let's move on. Let's show you what I've been working on, what patterns I finished, what whips and what ideas I've got. As always, I'm not just talking about my own wool, I'm also talking about other people's wools and other people's patterns, as well as my wool and my patterns. So let's jump into it. Firstly, I'm wearing a new design by me. It doesn't really have a name yet. I'm playing around with beacon head or beacon lights. There's a double knit version of this and a 4-ply version. So this is the double knit version, which is knitted in the Rum and Raisin. I don't particularly like vests or slipovers that have really sort of baggy openings on the arms. That's just preference to me. I quite like it to be a bit more of a crop around the arms. I've got a little bit of a rolled neck, which is paying homage to the Cornish gansies. I'm down in Cornwall. I get very inspired by the sort of traditions of heritage knitting here in Cornwall, and so the rolled collar, the idea is that would be the first bit that goes a little bit tatty, and so you would pull back a couple of rows and then you'd recast off, and then you've got a fresh looking jumper afterwards. So there's just a little bit of a tribute to that with a little rolled hem here, some 2x2 ribbing, and then some 1x1 ribbing. I'll do some more pictures of this out so you can see it properly. But this is the DK version knitted in my Rum and Raisin, and this is the 4-ply version, which is in the Mevagissey Mizzle. You can see the little rolled hem there a little bit more obviously. I'm working on those patterns. I've finished writing up the pattern for the DK, and then I'm just finishing grading for the 4-ply, and I will be jumping into a test knit. So if you fancy test knitting, get in touch. I seem to be calling out for test knits all the time on this. I've got a lovely group of people that already test knit for me, but it's always lovely to have new faces. We do it over a platform called Slack, and we get a really lovely community going on there. It's lovely. Everybody puts their pictures of their makes as well as their pets and what they're doing in their day, and it's just a really nice community feel. So if you are interested in test knitting either the DK or the 4-ply version, do get in touch through the Royal Wool website. Talking of test knits, you might have seen this in my last video. This is the Storm Smock, and it's all finished now. It's being test knitted currently. Test knitters are about halfway through and they are looking fantastic. My version, I finished literally the day before Unravel. Over dinner, I was weaving in the ends whilst I was up in Farnham at the yarn show. It was good that I was at dinner with a lot of other knitters. They understood that I was just weaving in frantically and trying to clip off the ends. But yeah, I finished it just in time. I tried to give it a little bit of a block in the hotel room, which didn't go very successfully, and I still need to give it a proper block on the arms and the back. But once I've done that, I will do some videos and I'll put them here so you can see it in all its glory. But this is halfway through its test knit. So once it's finished test knitting and I've done the photos, that will be up on Ravelry and on the website, and it's going to be called the Storm Smock. It's got this saddle shoulder construction with this slip stitch pattern that runs all the way down the arm. Some lovely integrated pockets, which the pockets are optional, but this gives you the real look of a fishing smock. It's got a doubled over relaxed hem at the bottom and also a doubled over collar, which is done in 2x2 ribbing. I've worn this every day, even though it's not blocked yet. I've been wearing it every day. When I got back from the yarn show, my heating had broken and I'm waiting on a part before I can get warm again. I've been having the fire going, but I've also been wearing this along the way, and it's just kept me lovely and warm, and it's just so comfy, and yeah, I love it. This is knitted in my Storm on the Horizon, which is some of my Wensleydale lamb's wool, which is done as a sports weight. These come in 50-gram skeins, and it's a really lovely fibre. It's got oodles of drape, so it gives you that sort of luxury feel when you're wearing it, as well as being a smooth, soft, which if you want to learn more about the fibre, you can go back to my picking the fleece video, which we talk about the Wensleydale fibre in a little bit more depth. I'm blasting through all these patterns, but hopefully it's nice to watch. Yeah, so this Bosca Hat is by Jonathan Days. I've mentioned this in my last video as well. I was finishing off a hat for my partner, but I mentioned this one, which was done in the Zucchami yarn with a little bit of Camel's yarn Advent skein that I had. So Zucchami are based up in Edinburgh, the hand dyers, a lovely couple, and then Camel's yarn is Hannah. She is in the southwest as well, and she's inspired by Cornish colours. So this was the hat I mentioned. You see me wearing it at the very beginning of the video, and I just wanted to show you the actual hat itself. So the Bosca hat has this doubled over hem, which has colour work on the inside, so it actually has about 4 or 5 layers of fabric that goes over your ears, which just keeps your ears lovely and warm, and it's a lovely hat. And so that's Jonathan Day, who also has a YouTube channel. So speaking of Jonathan Day, I'm going to steal one of his little tricks here and put my microphone on the end of a knitting needle, because I'm going to be trying on my next finished object. Another one of my patterns, and I finished this just before Christmas, and people that had the Advent box got this included in the Advent box. This is my Seafoam Scarf, and honestly, I think this has been the funnest thing to design. I really love how it looks. I love how it fits. I love the style of wearing it. I never thought I would be cool enough for a neckerchief, but since making this and wearing it a lot, I'm a bit obsessed. So yeah, this is the Seafoam Scarf. Ooh, microphone. This is the Seafoam Scarf, which is mosaic knitting, so you're only carrying one colour at a time. It has this slip stitch pattern in the middle, which slips 2 stitches either time, and then we have this sort of textured stitch here, again just using mosaic and slip stitches, and then a little bit of garter stitch on the end. Let me pop this on and we'll come back. So I tend to wear this a couple of different ways. Majority of the time I wear it to the back of me, so I pop it around the back and wear it like I used to be in the Scouts when I was younger, or the Cubs, and then I just get an old knitting needle that's actually a broken knitting needle, and I tend to pop it in like that and wear it as a little neckerchief, which just keeps your neck warm. I also really like the style of it, and depending on your mood you can flip it over so it's the light side to the front or the dark side to the front, and I think it makes a huge difference. Maybe that's just me, but I really like, I tend to do the darker side to the front because I like darker colours. You can also then roll over the neck a little bit more, and then you've got more of this sort of that's probably more like the Boy Scout neckerchiefs that you used to wear. And then I just take my Hide and Hammer shawl cuff and pop that round and wear it there. You could tie it, wear it as a little tie piece, also wearing it more like a cowl to the front. And what I tend to do when I do it like this, I either tie it and then wear it under my jacket, or I get a ring and then I pull the ring to the back, or I use the shawl toggle from Hide and Hammer. I'll just give you a close-up of the shawl toggle Hide and Hammer. It's got two different catches on it. You can alternatively wear this on your head as a bandana. I know a lot of ladies like to, and men, gentlemen, like to wear it in their ponytail and wrap it around their ponytail, just keep their back of their head warm, and just as a feature. But yeah, it's really versatile. I really enjoy it. I knitted it in a day. The pattern took a little bit longer to write up, but knitting it in a day, I really enjoyed knitting it. It's got a little bit of a crocheted edge as well, which, if you are a purist knitter and you don't dabble in crochet, you can just do a I-cord edge around the edge as the alternative choice, or I'm not really a crocheter, and it's easy. There's so many YouTube videos. It's basically a backwards double crochet. Please correct me, crocheters, if that's wrong. Crab stitch, backwards double crochet. Just all the way around the edge to stop it rolling. But I also really love the texture that it gives, of just giving like a little scalloped edge, and it's called crab stitch, and everything's inspired by the sea. It's called the Seafoam Scarf, so it all just marries up beautifully, and I love it. I wear it all the time. The Seafoam Scarf pattern is available on Ravelry and also on the website. I also am releasing some project boxes. They come in this lovely tube. They come in this lovely tube that has everything you need yarn-wise, as well as some Cornish tea to keep you going whilst you're knitting it. I cast that off, and then I got really excited and wanted to see it in some coloured yarn. So I've used some of my Softer Sea Mist, and then also some Spin Cycle, which I picked up at Yarn Story in Bath. I just really like this sort of sea colours to it, and it's held together with a white with some camel's yarn, with some of her Siri alpaca, which just has this lovely flecks of colour. So when I said Siri alpaca, my computer just started shouting at me, asking me how it could help. So I'll try and say it again. It's held together with some Siri alpaca from Camel's Yarn, which has this lovely sort of flecks of colour, which matches up with the Spin Cycle colour. This is the spin cycle is a sports weight, and so the 4-ply held with the fluff also makes it sports weight. You can do this pattern in 4-ply, you can do it in DK, you can do it in sports weight, and it will just change the size of it slightly. You'll need to adjust your needle size as well, but the pattern has been written for 4-ply and DK versions of it, and the kits come in 4-ply or DK version as well. The yarns I used for the Seafoam Scarf is the Mevagissey Mizzle, which is a mixture of some Romney wool, which is from down the road in Mevagissey, and also some Blueface Leicester, which is up from near Launceston, and then also 30% of my silver Wensleydale wool, and it just gives you this lovely sort of oatmeal colour, which has this also little luster to it from the Wensleydale and the Romney, and it's my most popular yarn. I love the colour, and everybody else seems to love it too. That's the DK version. I've actually ran out of the 4-ply at the moment, but it's in at the mill at the moment, so hopefully by the end of the summer we'll be back, though I have got a few odd bits which are in the kit. So at the moment, if you want to do the 4-ply version in those same colours, you'll need to purchase it in the kit. The other wool is Soft as Sea Mist, which is my 70% British Romney lamb's wool, which is from Mevagissey again, mixed with some Dorset from Steve the Salty Shepherd, who is down the road from me in Porthleven. I am now going to show you some things that aren't in raw wool, some yarns that I love, and some projects which you might have seen last time that I've been carrying on, as well as some new projects. Firstly, we go to the corner of shame, and that is my intersection socks. They haven't grown very much in quite a long time. I'm past the heel now, so I'm on the easy part of just doing the rest of the leg, but they have not progressed very far. I did go back and correct my cable, which I did wrong, but then I did another cable wrong, and I'm just going to live with it. I've gone past the heel now. To say I'm not enjoying 2 at a time socks would be wrong, because I do like the idea that they're going to finish at the same time and that they match with mistakes and all between the two. I just don't go for it. I just don't reach for this project. The pattern is gorgeous. The intersection socks from 52 Weeks of Socks is a gorgeous pattern. The method of 2 at a time is interesting. I know some people absolutely love it, and it's the only way to do it. I am a fan of Magic Loop. I do like Magic Loop. It doesn't bother me. I think it's just the getting used to a new technique and doing cabling at the same time probably was a bad idea. Probably should have just done some sort of plain vanilla socks. But I love how they're looking, and I do want them finished. So I will sit down and get them done. But yeah, they haven't grown, and many other projects have been casted on in the meantime, as well as some other sock slash slippers, which have just flown on and off the needle. So this is one of the socks. So it's a double knit, and again, it's from 52 Weeks of Socks, and it's called the Elf Slipper. It'll be up here on the screen. And this I have knitted in some Soft as Sea Mist with some yarn from John Arbon. The colour name has escaped me. Again, will be here on the screen. But it's just been really fun. It's been really quick to knit. You start off with the heel, and then you work forwards. You put some of your stitches on hold. In fact, I can show you on the other one because I'm almost finished. I'm literally on the toe of the next one. So you do Judy's Magic Cast On for the heel, and then you hold these stitches here, just on a bit of barber cord, and then you cast on more stitches and work in the round, and then you do your decreases on the toe. Pattern's all the same all the way through, and then you do your decreases, and then just a a little Kitchener stitch on the back, come back, take these stitches off hold, pick up these stitches on the front, and then do a couple of rounds of a I-cord edge, 4-stitch I-cord edge. Really easy, really quick. Really enjoyed doing them. They were going to be a Christmas present for somebody, but then the sizing was wrong for them. They just about fit me, so they might be for me. I will do them again because they were really quick and easy for the person that they were supposed to be for. And I actually might have enough yarn to do it with the 100 grams. We'll see once I've weighed them at the end. But the wool's gone far on them, and they are on some nice big needles as well. So they are on some 3.5 millimeter needles. I think it says 3.25, but as I say, I was worried that they would be too small for the person they were intended for, so I went up a needle size, but they were still too small anyway. So I think next time I will probably cast on a whole extra repeat pattern for the person that they're intended for. So that was the Elf socks from 52 Weeks of Socks, edition 1. There are 2 books for 52 Weeks of Socks, and that was from edition 1. Some other finished projects are this scarf, which I've just made up the pattern. My nan was the person that taught me to knit all those years ago. Picked up some wool from Crome & Nima, who are this lovely company who I met at Unravel in September, and I bought some of their cashmere, which has got a little bit of indigo dyed, so it's all white with then just this splodge of indigo. It looks really, really beautiful. So it's a lace weight yarn, and I knitted it up, just making up my pattern as I went along with some cable work in it, and it produced this lovely, lovely, very light shawl, very small, just as a little feature to wear over the top. It's my nan's sort of colours. She wears a lot of light blues and whites and things, so I thought this little shawl would just be lovely to feel. She's also got dementia, and so I wanted her to have something that was very tactile and soft that she could feel, and it just feels luxury and give her that little bit of luxury. For the fabulous woman that she is. Very much enjoyed knitting it. It was a bit of labour of love, but I love her enough that it was definitely worth all that time and effort. But yeah, I'm really pleased how it turned out. That's all my whips and all my finished projects. I bought some things from Unravel. I treated myself. I was surrounded by so much lovely yarn and so many lovely people that I couldn't resist. So I want to show you what I've got in my new Hide Hammer bag, which this is my first purchase. I absolutely love New from Hide Hammer. The very first yarn show I went to, she was in the stand next to me and just welcomed me into the yarn community, and that community has grown ever since. They're like a family, and yeah, I absolutely love New. She's a fabulous person and the most amazing creator. Her knitting bags, I already have one of her project bags, but this bag here is just fantastic. It's got this strap, it's got these 2 handles, the whole thing pulls out. Craftsmanship behind it is just brilliant. As a knitter, everything has been thought about. Pockets, size of the pockets, its versatility, its amazingness, its look, its ability to hold so much yarn and bigger projects. That's kind of why I got this bigger bag. The project bag I have before is her medium size, and it's perfect for when the projects are small, but for a whole jumper, it's starting to get a little bit small and I was cramming it. It's also made of a wax cotton, so I can use this for chucking my wetsuit in or my wet towels in after I've been surfing or swimming, and so this bag just made a hell of a lot of sense to me. It's also just so lovely and brilliant. I can't sing its praises any more than that. Yeah, it's fantastic. So in the lovely Hide Hammer bag are some of my purchases from Unravel. I promised myself I wouldn't buy anything, so it's naughty that I've even got anything to show you. My first purchase was from Le Garçon. Max and Vince. Max the knitter, you may have seen his patterns online, and Le Garçon have some beautiful, beautiful yarns which are available also here in the UK from Yarn Story as well as some other yarn stores. They're based in Canada, in Montreal, and but all of their bases and all of the wool is from Fleece, Leicester, here in the UK. So this is their Mild yarn, which is a mixture of their colour Max and Moira. I can't remember which way round it is. I think Moira is the more blue flex in it, the blue ply in it, and then I think Max is the more sort of green, but it gives it this sort of like lovely sort of camo effect. I brought a jumper's worth of this, and I thought I knew what I was going to make with it, but then started test swatching with this, and it hasn't quite come out how I wanted it to, only because the contrast colour that I chose doesn't look right. And then I changed my mind about what pattern I was going to try and do, and that involved some cable work, but then I did some cable work in it, but the needle size was too big that I've just had it cast on with. So it's just going to the side for a minute because it is beautiful, beautiful yarn, and it needs the correct pattern. Whether I make up a pattern or I do one of mine, or I find the perfect pattern, I'm each night trawling through Ravelry trying to find something, but there will be a perfect pattern for it, and it will look fabulous. But I want to make sure I pick the right one because the yarn really deserves it. My next purchase is from Nelly and Eve. Helen from Nelly and Eve is just the loveliest person, always gives me the biggest hug at yarn shows, and her wool is absolutely beautiful. So this is from Local Wool to Her, which is some Blue-Faced Leicester, and it's from single farm, so very similar to mine, that it's from traced origin, and then she has plant dyed this with some indigo, and it's this lovely sky blue, sort of dove blue, she calls it bird's egg. There we go. She calls it bird's egg, and this is 4-ply. There's 100 grams of hair, and it's really good meterage. It's 440 meters per 100 grams, and I have got 4 skeins of this. So with that meterage, I probably could get a jumper out of it. I was thinking about doing another slip over in it. This is the 4-ply, so this would be the 4-ply. So I was thinking this might look quite nice, but I probably have got enough to do a jumper's worth, so I may do a jumper in it. That's the plan for that, but that's a whip that's a long way off. My last purchase is from Loom hand-dyed yarns, in these 2 beautiful colours. The colour is Honey Mustard, this one, and this one is Milk Tea. The fibre base is Cornwall Sock, so that is a Cornwall sheep, and it has been twisted with a high twist, so it gives it some extra bit of strength to it, as a really good natural alternative for a sock fibre that doesn't have any nylon in it. Loom wool is also based in the southwest, and I love these colours. I've actually done a sock in Loom's wool before. This is a very old sock. And this is from Salt and Timber, which is knits from the northern coast, which is from Lane Publishing. And this is the Vespertine Sock. Sorry, I just had to look it up in the book. I will post it here, the pattern, and then also the yarn that I used for this one, her colourways, but I actually really like this as a colourway. This reminds me of sort of coffee and cake, sort of latte mocha colour, this sock, but I really loved this colour combo, and this will become 2 pairs of socks. That's all my purchases from Unravel. I had a fantastic show. It was super busy. I'm sorry I didn't take more video. It was incredibly busy chatting to everybody, so I didn't get a lot of time to do any filming. So that was a lot of patterns. That was a lot of yarn. That was a lot of information to take in. This was very much a show and tell video, apparently. I just got a lot done over the extended period of time between the last video and this one. I will hopefully do these videos more regularly, so there won't be so much to show and tell, and I can talk about the patterns a little bit more in depth, and also the yarn a little bit more in depth. But I just wanted to catch up what's going on in my life, so hopefully you've enjoyed. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. That always helps, and do comment below. So take care and happy knitting, and until next time, bye-bye.